Hello. Because the villainous Duck has insulted my honor as a word guy, I'm here to preview for you a little chapter from one of my upcoming books. This is the prologue, so you don't need any context. The book's title is tentative still, but this chapter title is called Typos. Enjoy. Typos. She was dead because of a typo. I was teaching a hagwon in Korea, and Priya was from Tanzania, where she'd gone to medical school and only needed another year of rotations to graduate. But she was living with extended family in Saudi Arabia, 4 months and still waiting citizenship, and now she was in the hospital for some reason or another. I only got some of the story through her Indian friend, Magana, who had stiff, awkward English, not many contractions, and she was suspicious because she had never heard of me. No one had. But when my fiancée woke up in what she described as the Ritz, with straps on the beds, she gave her friend my email and a message for me. Have a nice break. This was during the Lunar New Year, a big deal in Korea, and the Hagwon gave us a 4-day vacation with the weekend. And so a few days later, a few days of telling Magana Priya's facts to prove I was legit, like how she loved playing with the gardener's dog at our international school, which was a big no-no. Did you know Muslims aren't supposed to touch dogs and pigs? They're dirty. She also kept kittens under her porch, but 3 days later she got a whooping and they got tossed out. Anyway, my sleep schedule was hectic. I was either catatonic with worry, I don't know what catatonic's actually like, but it's as close as I've ever come, drooling and starving, or I was napping because I never felt okay sleeping more than an hour because I had to check my email, and I just wasn't expending any energy. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't need sleep. I woke up and Priya was dead. I got that email. Priya is dead. It was just like that. Magana sent a follow-up, something about how her sister said no one's allowed to visit, so she's getting her phone back. And with my groggy head, frantic emotional state, and the dangling participles, that follow-up was gibberish. I called my mom. It was like 3 a.m. back in Illinois, and so of course she didn't pick up. So I sent Magana an email. Thank you for telling me. Just like that when my mom called. But it was a new phone, and I never used it. Not really. Not in Korea. Who'd call? And answering it was weird because you slid your finger to the left to hang up and to the right to answer, or maybe it was the other way around. And now, this issue wasn't mentioned in any of the reviews, not even the one-star rants, but the touchscreen wasn't responsive when wet. Anyway, I called back, and Mom picked up finally and said, "Sorry, honey. Did I wake you?" Because time zone math was hard at any hour. "I thought you had called, so I was calling back. The thing's just always chirping about old alerts, and I called." I was real quiet, though, so she didn't hear. I was being quiet because I had to explain everything first. How I was engaged, and to a Muslim girl, to a girl I'd met online 2 years ago, but we'd only been engaged 4 months, and she's dead. I was all snot around my nose and mouth, and it gurgled as I wailed. I had to repeat myself. I screamed it a lot, so she could hear. "She's dead! She's dead! She's dead!" Honey, what? Who is? I've been engaged for 4 months and she's dead. Every parent wants to hear their honey found love and got ready to stop traveling so they could settle and marry. hopefully near enough to the parents so Christmas visits wouldn't take a toll on budget or butt. But not like this. Not when it's all sobs and snot bubbles and they can't understand it. Oh, the sounds I made. Like before graduation with that tipped cow. Its sounds. I made its sounds. His or her. I think hers. I think there were udders. The wails and blubbering and how I moved the receiver away when all that could come out were goddams and fuckings because dear old mom had never heard me say those. Except when I was with friends in my room for LAN parties. This was back in high school. And our teenage foul mouths got too excited for discretion. But now, in my agony, I moved the receiver away, and even yelled quietly, if not for my mom, then for the old lady living next door. I think the landlady, who might not know the words, she hardly knew hello, but she'd know the tone. The other wall's neighbors was another teacher, in Tokyo this vacation. And I called the UN Women and UNHCR and Amnesty International and when I went quiet, suffocating on snot that I wiped on a pink blanket washed only a few days ago and drying on the rack till my last nap, my mom asked, "Are you still there?" I was. "You can take the day off." This must have been her Friday morning, and her time zone math hadn't processed yet. Mine just did, and oh God, it was 3 a.m. after a work day, and tomorrow was another at 7, and here I was screaming she's dead at her when she should be sleeping. Is there anyone there you can be with? We've got we've got this vacation for the new year. They're all gone. After I was dehydrated and had gone for my post-sleep piss, still on the phone with my mother, but I had aimed for the bowl, missing the water so she wouldn't hear and, God forbid, get uncomfortable. I asked about her family dog. I got the story about Lady and the squirrels in our willow tree. Then she asked if I'd be okay, and she told me to go to a doctor for something to tide me over, and that Dad would start finding deals on plane tickets first thing in the morning, and oh yeah, what's your credit card number again? So I went back to my email. If I was this distraught, Madonna must be too. She had sent another email. They're sending her family home, I think. I think it is good to be alone now. I am feeling a lot of relief, like a big weight lifted off. She sent it just like that, and I couldn't process it. In the last day or two, getting to know this Indian girl from Tanzania, there were all these unfathomable cultural mindsets. How she supported forced arranged marriage, but marriage to an American was ludicrous. How a normal life where a girl could go outside and work and see the sun occasionally was a dream, and that was making Priya sad. The hope was. Because it couldn't possibly be the beatings and being made to feel worthless making her sad. It was the hope. But to hear this was a relief. How is this a relief? She's dead. I sent it like that, but I wanted to send, she's dead, dead, she's dead! How is that a relief to anyone but her? That. I nearly broke my mug against the window, hoping for both to shatter, but I worried too much about the neighbor lady, about the kids who hung out in the alley below to smoke. And I was weak. The tears and snot drained me. Who told you? Lagana sent. You! You sent a message that said Priya is dead, like that. No, she is not, asterisk, dead. Oh, goodness, I'm a screw up today. She did not want me to tell you. I think not more than have a good break, but I never stopped talking. And her family is so secretive, always like a secret society. And I get the feeling they were covering up things, so I thought maybe you knew more. But I'm sorry. I missed one word and changed it completely. I'm really, really sorry. So I called back my mom, and while waiting for her to answer, I replied to Magana. You could have said alive. It'd been about 15 minutes since my last phone call, so Mom was probably just sleeping again when I told her the good news. Please don't say anything else, I begged. You'll both have to come to terms with this now. I know. I love you. I know. It wasn't long before Priya had her phone, and she couldn't talk because the doctors and nurses would hear, and her parents or uncle were probably paying them to report back and to put on the charge that this was just an infection. But she could email. Hey you, how was your break? X. And that had me crying for a second time that night. First sorrow, now joy. We always argued which were hugs and which were kisses. That was a kiss, but X's look like arms crossing for a hug. What do you say to a person? I don't do well when we don't talk, but I'm amazing now. How are you doing? I mean, really. I'm peachy. That always makes me laugh. Peaches are terrible. Do you like peaches? I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. Just busy and stuff. Lots of stuff to get done, and my internet was limited, and so I asked Magana to tell you I'd be busy because you're such a worrier. She sent that. Peaches suck. And Priya, you can always talk to me. I'll always understand. Like how I agree peaches suck. Nectarines too. They're peaches in need of Rogaine. We'll get you to date quality or strawberry. What's your favorite fruit? I'll get you feeling close to that. I was feeling well enough to flip on the lights, and my eyes no longer ached from staring at a bright screen in otherwise darkness. I have lots of favorite fruits. I knew I shouldn't have gotten her to talk to you. Do you like strawberries? I like them dipped in sugar, especially when they're sour. How am I doing? Maybe I'm wondering why and how the fuck I'm still breathing. Now it's commotion and blame. I don't blame you. I would never. I don't really care if you blame me or not. I don't care if anyone blames me or not. I don't care what anyone thinks or is thinking. I really didn't want to be alive when this shit was happening, but somehow all the shit's in my system, but I'm exactly where I was a few days ago. Only now there's people breathing down my throat and I've screwed up my chance at this. I'm just fucked, really. I did it right, and it's almost like this fucked up universe can't even let me go because I'm supposed to still suffer more. I can't even fucking do that without my family interfering. I love you. I sent. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for listening.